Hello, tyrants and newcomers alike. This is Tyranee here with my first impressions of Phoenix Wright 5. Now, this comes out of watching both the trailers that have come out and doing some research on what might actually be in the game. So, let's see where we should start here. Let's start, first of all, with the game's new features. From the trailers, there appears to be fully animated cutscenes with voice acting, for that matter. That's going to be amazing. There has not, at this point, of course, if you played the series, know that there is a Phoenix Wright game that actually involves voice acting, except for the objections, of course. Will there be voice acting in the actual game? That I do not know. I think it would be cool if there did, because and it's very likely, because the 3DS has the capability of doing a fully voice acted game. I know this because I played Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward, which was a fully voice acted game, with a lot of similar qualities to what Phoenix Wright 5 seems to most likely have. So I'm going to be comparing a lot to Zero Escape in this first impressions and wants video of this game, because they seem to have a lot of similarities. First of all, Phoenix Wright and Apollo were in this game. Both of them, that is. The game takes place about 1 year after Apollo ends. Phoenix got his attorney's badge back, essentially, and he's back on the job. Apollo works under him with another defense attorney, which we will discuss later, whose name is currently Tyranee. So, Tyranee and Apollo both work as defense attorneys under Phoenix in this game, it appears. So, we have some fully fluid 3D animated sprites and environments, for that matter. Like I said, I'm going to compare to Zero Escape again, because Zero Escape, if you've seen my Let's Play of 999 or anything, you'll see the sprites were sort of like Phoenix in the case where they were basically 2D pictures with some mouth movement, maybe. But in this game, they have a lot more flexibility. The 3DS gives them a lot more flexibility. I mean, they can object, they can make more facial expressions. I mean, I don't see anybody making Phoenix wrongs out of these. These are way too complex. The environments themselves, judging from the trailer, look very much like Zero Escape. You basically go around and click things in a circle, but they're very 3D and they're very interactive, and they'll be very fun to manipulate and look for evidence in. The game is said to feature fully orchestral music. I'm really looking forward to hearing the corner theme, honestly, in fully orchestral version. I'm sure it's out there somewhere already, but the official one, for that matter. And for that, and one other new feature in this game, Phoenix's assistant, or Apollo's assistant, I don't know which is which, she's just the partner character in this game. Tyranee has this thing called a heartscope. And it measures the emotions of people. So it's sort of like this game's version of the Magatama or the bracelet from Apollo Justice, whereas it does some special gimmicky thing. Like the Magatama helped you break, like, you know, locks in people's psyche. The bracelet helped you identify nervous tactics, and this heartscope is going to help you identify strong emotions. So that's going to be fun to play around with, this fun little mini game in court, maybe, or outside of court, depending on what's going on. So let's get around to talking about the characters real quick, the characters that have been revealed so far. We have Phoenix Wright is, of course, in this game. He's probably in his 40s at this point. He has a very posh suit. I mean, look at that, it's pretty sexy. He, once again, like I said, he has got his attorney's badge back, and he's back on the stand. So, I'm wondering, for one, is he going to be kind of rusty at the beginning of this game? Because I think he just got his badge back, and he's just now starting again. His face looks a little bit different in the 3D, but I do like it. I think it looks great, and I look forward to seeing what the objection's going to look like on that little 3D screen. Another character in this game, Apollo's in this game as well, and he's a shocker. One thing I noticed, what's weird about Apollo, is in the trailer, he looks normal. He's on the defense stand, he looks normal. Apollo is a playable character, by the way, that's confirmed. Phoenix and Apollo are both playable characters. Not Tyranee, she's just a partner character, just Phoenix and Apollo are. So, Apollo looks normal on the trailer. However, if you look at some of the pictures that have been put out for him, he is wearing a long tail coat. I've even put this on screen so you can see it. He's got bandages on his arms, and he's got an eye patch. So it's like, one can only predict at this point what the heck happened with that. And I have my own prediction, which I will reveal later when I talk about what I predict Case 1 to be. So, we have Tyranee, lastly of all, for the main characters. She's the partner character, she's a defense attorney under Right Anything Agency with Apollo, and she's going to be high maintenance, sort of like Maya and Trucy. She seems to be like hyperactive. Apparently she's going to have very strong emotions. She's going to be quite reckless. So it sounds like she's going to be a mix of Trucy Wright, Emma Skye, and Dick Gumshoe, pretty much. Because she has that heart scope that's basically science, and that's the Emma Skye, and she's pretty reckless, and she has a hot head, which is, well, I guess sort of Gumshoe, and she has the mannerisms of what Trucy and Maya would have, it seems like. So it seems like a combination of a lot of characters. Nice hair, too. And a couple questions I have regarding characters, and a couple predictions. Where's Trucy? Okay, I haven't seen anything regarding Trucy yet. As far as my research goes, the only thing I've seen is that Phoenix still carries that locket with Trucy's picture in it. That tells me that she's probably involved in this game somehow, although we don't know how yet. If not just in spirit, because Phoenix is holding her locket. I'm guessing she, it can't be that changed that much from Apollo continuing, considering it's only been a year since the last game. So she's probably still doing her magic show. She's probably the same peppy, happy Trucy that everybody's used to. Where's Maya? My prediction is, of course, she's training in Karain Village, and from what I hear and what I've read, she will probably make a cameo, most likely. She's not going to be a main character in this game, definitely, but she might make a cameo. As for the other characters that are in this game, we have the Prosecutor. Check out this guy. Freaking, his name is Jin Yugami? Jin Yugami, I want to say. He is a prosecutor, and in my opinion, he looks like a combination of Miles Edgeworth and Death the Kid from Soul Eater. The game apparently is taking a decidedly darker turn, as far as I read, so this guy definitely fits right in. I'm not sure what his mannerisms are going to be, but my guess is he's going to be sort of like Batman. Sort of, but not comedically, like the really serious kind of Batman. Now, moving on to Case 1, we have Winston Payne's younger brother, who ironically is in his 60s, so he's not even really that young. I'm going to put a picture of him on screen here, and he looks like he is part of the Mafia, although I highly doubt it. He just looks like a Mafia businessman, which is interesting. I mean, he looks like Winston Payne if Winston Payne actually had balls. So he looks like a Mafia businessman, and he apparently uses much dirtier tactics than his brother, so I'm assuming he's a much more effective prosecutor, most likely. And I'm also assuming that by this time, Winston Payne has probably had enough and retired. Thank God. So, once again, Winston Payne's brother's in this game, and the court case involves Kokone, the assistant's childhood friend, put a picture of her on screen, being accused of planting a bomb in the courthouse. Yes, you heard that right, people. Planting, in these days, having a game where a courthouse has the threat of blowing up is just wow, especially in Phoenix Wright. It's sort of unexpected. So she's being accused of planting a bomb in the courthouse. This character's name is, hold on, let me take a look. Her name is Shinobu Morizumi, currently. Although this is not likely as far as I see, there is a possibility that she can turn out to be like a Benedict Arnold at some point in this game. Like, she seems really nice, almost too nice, and may end up turning out like a Dahlia. If you played Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations, she may end up turning out like a Dahlia. That's just my prediction, but I don't think it's very likely to happen. So, one other thing that's interesting about this case, and another prediction, is that the Juris system, if you remember, if you played through Apollo, and of course spoilers for those of you that are watching my Let's Play, the Juris system was put in at the end, which basically means that the Juris, instead of just the judge, decides, who gets guilty verdict or not. So, I'm predicting that's going to affect the court cases somehow. What my prediction is that the Juris system will replace the bar that was in previous Phoenix Wright games that kind of explodes when you get things wrong and then you lose when it's all the way down. Like, it might be replaced sort of like with a meter. Like one of those arrow things like you see in Guitar Hero. When you miss a note, it goes down to red, or it goes up to green when you hit stuff. It might be replaced with that. Like, the more you mess up, or the better you do, like, the more the bar goes up. The more the arrow goes up to the side that that relates to what you're doing. So, in that case, that's actually one of my wants for this game. I want that, because I think that would make court cases much more realistic. Especially, if the meter moved in accordance to the story occasionally. Like, you could start out in the red at one particular case because the case is very tense and the jury is clearly not on your side. Or, towards the middle of the case, during a testimony, the meter could sway back and forth depending on how the people feel about what this person is saying. So I think that would be a good thing to have in this game. This is just a prediction of mine. It's not confirmed, but if the jury system did affect what was happening in the game, I would assume that it would do something. It would only really affect highly the right or wrong meter, per se. Let's get to the bottom of things here. There's an image I'm going to put on screen. An exploded courtroom. That tells me that at some point in this game, the main courtroom that this case is taking place in gets exploded. And it could possibly be exploded. I'm going to put another image on the screen. By this guy. I mean, this guy is, apparently his name is Barashima Shingo. He's a bomb squad member, he hates defense attorneys, he's possibly evil, and it is quite possible, because of that picture and the other picture that I'm about to put up, that he will blow up the courthouse at some point. He also hates defense attorneys, so that's another reason I think he'll blow it up. And that brings me into why I think Apollo has his injuries. What I think is going to happen... it's confirmed that Phoenix Wright is, of course, going to start out as the defense attorney in this game, so at some point, he might pull a Goku and Gohan thing and sort of switch into Apollo. Or maybe he has to go do something. I don't know what would happen with that, but my prediction is that the courthouse blows up, and Apollo gets caught in the midst of it and gets these injuries from maybe saving somebody. Now, I know Apollo wasn't exactly a popular character in the series. Apparently the last game, Apollo Justice, sold extremely well, but it was not, like, well received by fans, for obvious reasons. Not a lot of people liked Apollo, or Hobo Phoenix, for that matter. It was a complete change of formula. So, in Apollo's case, this may be an attempt to make people like him a bit better, I want to say, or maybe like the character, by making him look like a total badass, you know? That kind of thing. So, we have the ruined courtroom, and we have that possibly getting blown up. Now, that's basically the gist of Case 1, as far as I see it, anyhow. Let me move on to what I want to see in this game, to end out my little rant here of what I expect and what my first impressions are of Phoenix Wright 5. One thing I want to see, DLC cases. That would be awesome. Like, I want to see, like, a Phoenix Wright store in general. A place where you can go on, maybe buy HD versions of older cases from the previous games, extra cases maybe for after the game, stuff like that. Like how they had, for example, like in Heavy Rain, how they had that one where the chick goes into the house of the guy that's like killing people or whatever. Like stuff like that, basically, but like a lot of them, not just the one like Heavy Rain did. What would also be nice would be the ability to make fan-made custom sprites. That would especially help fan-made custom sprites and fan-made cases. I want like sort of like on SmackDown vs. Raw, how they have the if you've ever played that, they have the create a wrestler system, they create a whatever system, and people have put these stuff online for other people to download. I want to create a case and create a sprite and possibly create an environment system to be put online to be downloaded. That way, you would be able, when you're creating your own sprites, your own cases, and your own environments, that would give you the ability to create custom things. So that would be a very good feature to have, although I don't think it's going to be likely in this stage of the game. I could be surprised, because I have been very surprised before. We have the voice acting, which was mentioned earlier. I'm a little bit iffy on, only because I do like having my own interpretations of what the characters sound like, rather than one forced interpretation by another voice actor that's official, you know. And plus, you know, I will be LPing this, of course. Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't miss a day in the world. I wouldn't miss a chance in the world to LP this. And I kind of hope that the main part of the cases aren't voice acted, so I can actually get voice actors for them. Although that will be weird because the animated cutscenes will be voice acted, so you already know what most of the characters sound like. I'll figure it out. I mean, you already know what Phoenix sounds like because of Marvel vs. Capcom, so that's pretty much already out there. I mentioned the Juris system about the little meter thing. I do kind of want to see that, because I think that would be a great thing to have in this game. There's another thing about that Juris thing that I want. They could do a thing where if the case comes to an end and you are too far into the red, the jury can decide to vote against you. In that case, of course, there is always an unlimited saving system in Phoenix, so I would oblige people to take advantage of that if they would. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be unfair for the game to put you back at the beginning of the case if the jury decides that you're not worthy of finishing right, or the other guy did better. That would make things more realistic in that case, anyhow. And plus, like I said just a minute ago, we have our unlimited saving system. So if you're at a good point, just save. I don't think it's really unfair at all. The game is due July in Japan, which probably means it's going to be out maybe October, November here. I can't wait. And one last thing, patches. Although I don't know why a game like this would need patches, it is possible to do patches and do upgrades. So if there are any patches or upgrades, I hope they will be applied. All in all, I think Phoenix Wright 5 is going to be the best game of the series, as far as I've seen, and maybe a little early to make that prediction, but, man, it's looking really good, guys. I mean, like I said, I played Zero Escape, and this basically looks like an upgraded version of Zero Escape, gameplay-wise, although you can't up Zero Escape in story. That game was awesome in story, but the game takes a decidedly darker tone. In conclusion, the game takes a decidedly darker tone. The new characters look great, the environment looked great, I love the 3D sprites. And the beard is in HD, motherfreakers. There's that. And the new features are overall gonna make this game probably the best in the series. I'm Tyranee. I freaking can't wait for this game. Rate, comment, subscribe, favorite, and I will see you guys next time.